Should I do the music? Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the program. You have stumbled upon the Minstack Pods podcast, and boy, am I glad to see you here today. I hope you're having a great day. It's a beautiful day outside today. Actually, it's not. It's like 95 degrees, and we're headed towards the middle of October, and I'm over it. I'm ready for some fall weather, but we do live in California, so gotta be thankful for that. Today we have a wonderful topic. Today we are going to be talking about hope. That's capital H-O-P-E, folks. So recently we did a Send Her to the Streets episode where I went out to Huntington Beach and asked people where they find their hope. An odd question perhaps, but I do think it's relevant in today's day and age. This world, this nation has gone through a lot over the past couple of years. I mean, we had the coronavirus outbreak, which was a hoot and a half. And then dealing with that on top of everybody else's own personal issues and day-to-day life, we hear a lot about mental illness, depression, anxiety, etc., you name it. And so I think it's important to find out where people get their hope. But here's what we found, some of the key takeaways.
People should believe in themselves. Don't be a follower. You have to be an individual. You came into this world by yourself. You're going out by yourself.
Okay, so I do actually really love that first statement that he said, like learn to stand on your own, don't be a follower. I think that that's so important just in life in general, especially if you're going to live as a Christian conservative in this world today. You have to learn to be by yourself a little bit. You're going against the grain, you're going against the majority. And that's difficult, that's challenging, and it takes a lot of strength, but it's so worth it in the end to not be a sellout. It's so worth it. I go to bed at night, every night, feeling like a total winner. Let's keep watching.
Well, if you have grandkids, I would say your grandkids or your family.
I love that. I don't have grandkids. I'm not even married yet, so what would you say to me?
Find a boyfriend.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
And then have a family, and then you would have grandkids.
So this sweet little woman was by far just the sweetest little woman ever. I loved talking with her and her husband. However, I disagree with her greatly on some of these points. Yes, I think that having a family, getting married, having kids, and cultivating a little family unit is an incredibly meaningful way to live your life. And I think that that's a great, good thing that is a God-given desire. I genuinely believe that. However, when you tell somebody to put their hope in finding a boyfriend, I just don't agree. And listen, she's older, so she doesn't really know what kind of trash we women are dealing with out here. But it's not a picnic. I have to commit that entire part of my life to God, because if I was looking at it as I had to go find a boyfriend in my own abilities, looking at what the options are today, I think I'd be ready to jump off a cliff. Let's keep watching.
Put your hope in our future, honestly.
What does that mean?
Like, you just gotta trust in what's coming.
What if what's coming is really bad?
Well, you gotta hope. That's what hope is, right?
So like manifest it in a way?
Yeah.
How would you do that? Do you like meditate or anything?
No. Hit the wall.
What does that mean?
So basically it's kind of like your responsibility to make good things come.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do your own good in the world.
What's the good in the world that you do?
I don't know.
Lacrosse maybe? Or I'm sorry, what sport is this?
Utah Tech lacrosse.
Go Lions. So you would say sports is what you put your hope in.
Absolutely, yeah.
What happens if you break your leg one day though and you can no longer play sport?
Been there, done that, went to coaching and loved it.
What happens if Biden gets into office and says, done with sports, no more sports ever? What do you do then?
I think we just, we boycott.
What?
I guess we go right that year. I guess we go right if he says no more lacrosse.
Go right?
Okay, so these, I'm assuming college-aged boys were so adorable. I mean, look at his little hat. How cute is that? I mean, when you're young, you think that you're untouchable. When we're young, we don't think that anything bad is ever gonna happen to us. And we think we're just gonna live forever. All of those really stupid ideals. I don't think it is until you go through something in life that is incredibly challenging, that is beyond you and your abilities to solve and fix, do you really start to question where you put your hope in. I just think it's important that we as people maybe understand what that is before we go through a trial or something that's really challenging in your life, so that when you do get there, you have firm grounds to stand on. That's why I think it's so important to have a faith in God. I think it's so important to have a relationship with God. In scripture, it talks about how people would count it joy when they knew they were about to go through trials and tribulations, because it meant that they were going to grow deeper in their relationship with the Lord. And that's a crazy thing to think about. Like, for people to be looking forward to going through a hard time because they know it will benefit them in their walk with God in the long run. I think that's a really beautiful way of looking at life. But yeah, I think it just shows the danger of not knowing truly who you are and what you believe in. You can't put your faith in a politician. That's filthy. That's just a dirty game. But I know a lot of people that kind of create like what their hope is, their identity. So if you're a big sports player, you play basketball, or you're a big athlete in some way, and then you get injured, your identity, or what you've made your identity, which is sports, gets completely taken away and your world is flipped upside down. And now you're like, who am I? I know a lot of people that do that with relationships. They pour everything that they are into a person, and then the relationship ends and it's like, okay, who am I? What am I doing with my life? People do the same exact thing with jobs. You can do it with pretty much anything. And when that one particular thing ends, you're left feeling hopeless because you don't know what your life's about. You don't know what to put your hope in.
I would probably say music. Just going to live shows, being in a room full of people who are there for the same thing as you. I don't
Like a sense of unity between people almost gives you a sense of hope that maybe that can fix the problems in the world.
I guess so, maybe.
I wonder how many people are putting their hope in Taylor Swift these days. I would love to interview a Swiftie, like a hardcore Swiftie. I'd love to just dissect the brain of someone. I was friends with one back in high school, and she was crazy. But they make for the best fans, so Taylor Swift really tapped into something successful there. You know what I mean? All right, we continue. I digress.
I feel like it's really dependable on the person. Whatever you find motivation in, whether it's friends, family, whatever you want to wake up for.
Do you think that your friends and your family give you a sense of purpose in a way? Yeah. What would you say to someone who had no friends and family?
Get up for yourself. Wow. If you're laying in bed and you don't feel good, get up, get ready, take a shower, clean, whatever you got to do to get up and find purpose.
Okay, so I completely understand what this girl is saying. By the way, does she not completely remind you of that Cash Me Outside girl? Like, I mean, just like the vibe, the attitude. I mean, is that offensive to say that? Okay, anyways, I completely understand what she's saying. She's sort of taking the approach of you kind of have to help yourself in order to get help, right? And to a certain extent, I do agree with that. Carrie Underwood once explained it this way, where if you're trying to catch the bus, you have to do two things. You have to pray that you will catch that bus, and then you also have to run for the bus. And if you still miss the bus, then it just wasn't your bus. You were putting in your own effort, but you were also committing it to God at the same time. I think there needs to be a good mixture of both. Because yes, it's one thing to have hope in the Lord and also be a lazy slob. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm explaining any of this correctly. Let's just keep watching.
Catch me outside. How about that?
I forgot that I put that in there. I should have taken that out. Okay, let's keep watching.
You're a Christian, and that's great. I respect that.
Thank you.
Because nobody knows.
I understand that you are an atheist, but is there anything on like this earth and like this tangible life, despite everything that's going on, despite everything that's happened, that you look forward to or almost look to in a sense of like, this could fix things?
We're addicted to greed in this country. We're addicted to the drugs. People don't want to talk about the real problems. We could solve these problems, but we don't.
What I'm getting at is there is no hope.
I'm a very positive person. We're in trouble. Do I have no.
I found that guy to be so fascinating. We actually stopped and talked with that man for probably about 20 minutes long. I think in regards to his answer where he has no hope, he is referring to the state of the country. There was a lot of talk about politics and social issues and all of these different kinds of things. And in that regard, yes, there is no hope. I mean, really, when you do look at the state of our country, it is a really depressing thing. My goodness. He admitted to being an atheist, and so he doesn't have that eternal perspective in the sense that, number one, there is life after this time here on earth, right? I believe as a Christian, those who have accepted Jesus as their savior will go to heaven for eternity after this life. And he doesn't have that hope because he doesn't believe in God, obviously, as an atheist. But then even more than that, I just feel like having a belief in God brings you a sense of hope in all situations, whether you're facing an illness, retribution, conflict, even in politics. You know, you look at the state of this country, we are a mess. When you do put your hope in the Lord, you recognize who you are compared to Him. You can understand that, yes, with man, there are things that are impossible. With man, there are issues that are far too big for us to handle. But with God, there is nothing too big for Him. And so in that case, I do have hope that like the Lord can change the state of this nation. Absolutely. There's nothing that's too far gone that He can't do. And so I think when you don't have that perspective, yeah, you're not going to have much hope. Okay, segueing into politics. It's almost 2024, which is a new election year. Yeah. Now here's the thing. I want to set the record straight, okay? Because politics, as I stated earlier, is a nasty, foul rat game, okay? And I don't associate with rats. I think they're gross and they carry diseases. But here's the situation. I love election year. I love it. I love not knowing what's going to happen. I love seeing people, you know, kind of lose their minds. It's like reality TV, but better because they're really trying to take themselves seriously here, right? Like they're really trying to like run the country. It's hilarious. Now, as a Christian, I recognize that Christ is truly the one that is on the throne here. But when it comes into another election year, I just get so excited. I love all the little debates. I love how petty all the candidates start to become. It's like Christmas for me. Anyways, I do have one question. We're all in agreement, right? That like no one's going to vote for Joe Biden again, right? Like, I mean, I don't know who the alternative candidate is going to be for the Republican side or who's going to run on their own. Like, we could have an independent candidate. How epic would it be if an independent candidate ran and won? I just want to know, like, we're all in agreement, right? Like, Joe Biden cannot win again. It's been a fun time, Joe Biden. It's been a joy. All your lockdowns, all your mandates, all your everything. It's been great. I really, really enjoyed all of the immigration chaos that your presidency term has allowed.
I wrote the bill on the environment.
I think the most charming trait, though, of Joe Biden's presidency has been the inflation. I've always dreamed of paying $6 a gallon for gas. And thank you so much, Joe Biden, for making my dreams come true. And then some.
I want to get things done.
Let's not forget the extremely woke administrative state that Joe Biden has put our nation in.
You elected the highest ranking black Indian with Indian background woman in American history to be vice president.
It's going to be hard to say goodbye to Joe Biden. I really do think it. Now, here's the thing. Seriously, for real. If someone, like, I get it if you hate Republicans and you just hate the conservative party. And, like, if that's the case, then you have to just say that. If that's the reason you're voting for Joe Biden, you have to say it. Because if there's any other reason, if you're going to come out and try to defend Joe Biden, you're going to look really foolish. And I'm just trying to help you. Like, is this the one issue that conservatives and liberals can kind of come together on and agree with, that like Joe Biden has been a terrible president? Aren't we all there? We're there, right? I am a conservative, thereby I am a Republican. Do I like all the Republican nominees or like whoever's running right now? No, I don't even really know what's going on. I've heard that the debates have been quite a hot mess. And Ron DeSantis is not performing as well as I thought that he was going to. I was really looking forward to like his take no prisoners speeches, but he seems like he's falling by the wayside. I mean, my goodness, get it together, man. I'm not an advocate for Donald Trump. However, I will say this, I did really enjoy my life as an American when he was president. Those 4 years were a fun 4 years for me. I don't know what else to say. I got a lot back in my taxes. I was having I literally could find any job that I ever wanted. Like, this economy was booming and I truly did enjoy it and I missed that. However, I do understand, I get it. Donald Trump was a very isolating president and I get it. I think that people who aren't even very left-leaning wouldn't want to see him take office just because of all of the problems that he caused. You know what I mean? Yeah. So those are my thoughts on politics and the whole political campaign. However, if you do have anxiety about this new presidential election and everything, just remember that eventually the rapture is going to happen and we won't have to deal with this stuff anymore. And I look forward to that day. So, I thought I heard the trumpets calling now. Okay, moving on to my last point of the day. America. America, I love America. You will not find someone that is more patriotic, pride, cheerleader. You cut me open, I will bleed red, white, and blue. I love America. I love freedom. I love the principles that this nation was founded on. I dare you to find another girl who is more proud of this nation than myself. I love living here. And in these elections and tying into hope, there's a lot of people where their hope in life is to save America. I think it's a great hope. I'm not so prideful in this nation that I can't see the ways in which we have fallen by the wayside in this country. Okay, yeah, we have some issues that need to be resolved, absolutely 1000%. However, I don't think it's possible to save America without taking into question how to save the souls of the people living in America. So here's the first thing I want to say about this. The first thing is, if you're living in America and you're someone who just hates this nation, then you should leave. That's number one. You should leave. If you can't live here and respect the freedom that we have here in this country, and you're someone that's just always pent up and bitter about the blessings of living in such a great free nation, then you should go. There is the door, because there's a long line of people that would like to come in, and you're holding up the line, good sir. The second thing I'm going to say is, if we're going to talk about the potential of saving America and getting back to our traditional values, we need to take into question what it means then to save the souls of people living in America. And I say this for a couple of reasons. I don't understand the point of saving America if nobody has a relationship with Jesus Christ, if nobody is saved, if nobody knows where they're going for eternity. I don't understand that. And if you listen to my reasoning for just a moment, I think you'll agree with me. If you ask yourself how we've gotten to this point in America, I think that there are a couple of reasons. And the first and foremost and most important reason being, we're a godless nation now. We're completely godless. We've gone so far from where we started when this nation was first founded on the principles of Christianity. Back then, people had a genuine fear of the Lord. The freedoms that we read of in our Constitution were put there because of Christian principles. It was biblically founded, and we've come so far from that. I truly believe that everybody was created by God, for God, to be in relationship with God. In saying that, we all have a God-sized void within our souls. When you're not walking in relationship with God, you try to fill that void with things that this world can provide for you. Whether that's partying, giving your body away, and being in all of these crazy toxic relationships. A big thing nowadays is this transgender movement. It seems like a lot of people are trying to fix the problems in their life, their depression and their anxiety, or trying to find purpose in their life by getting gender reassignment surgery. It's completely cut God out of the picture. And you wake up feeling emptier than you were the day before. They still feel depressed. They still feel anxious. They don't know why. Now they're even more depressed and anxious because I thought that this surgery was going to fix things, and now it hasn't. And now I've done this to my body and I can't go back. There's a lot of things that as a country we've decided to prioritize over God. And we've just decided to cut him out entirely. And the Bible talks about eventually God will give you over to the desires of your heart. And I think that he has done that with America. Now, nothing is ever too far gone. I think he has allowed us to experience the consequences of what it means to turn our backs to him. We've seen that greatly with who we put into leadership and how we're suffering economically and politically, and people can't find jobs and all this other kind of stuff. I think if we really want to see America turn around, we need a revival. We need a spiritual revival. We need people coming back down onto their knees, recognizing who they are in the Lord, not who this world is telling them to be. Until that happens, we're gonna stay where we're at. The good thing is that no one is ever too far gone. I 1000% believe that. And I think that as Christians, when we start to lose apathy, that's when things become stagnant. We as Christians need to believe that God can do a work anytime with any person, anywhere. But that's what I pray for. I pray for revival. I pray for God to do a mighty work in this nation and to use his people. I think we as Christians, we're here for such a time as this. We're only here on this earth for a short while. Life is so short. We are not promised tomorrow. And I think that while we're here, we just have to be powerful ambassadors for Christ, unashamedly. If Jesus was able to hang on the cross for my sins in all humility, I can stand for him. Alrighty, friends, this was fun. Go out into the world and bring encouragement. Oh, I guess I could do the music thing, huh? I'll do the music thing. Let's do that. Well, this was a fun episode. I appreciate you hanging out with me and discussing all of these little topics. What a fun time. Really, what a fun time. As I mentioned earlier, it's like 100 degrees outside today, and although I am blasting the air as painfully as I possibly can, I am still glistening with sweat from how hot it is in here. I'm gonna go get dinner. And then I'm gonna go shooting tomorrow at the gun range with my friends. I'm pretty excited about it. So I hope you have a great day tomorrow and the next days and all the days to come. You wake up every morning with just butterflies flying out of your butt. Okay, bye. All right, I think that was good.